In Gold Rush Season 15, Episode 13, The King's Mistake, the mining crews faced high stakes as they sought the best ground to keep their operations profitable. Tony Beets, Rick Ness, and Parker Schnabel each had unique challenges, with Ness in particular feeling the pressure to secure a new pay streak before time ran out. With winter fast approaching, every move had to count, making the search for pay dirt more intense than ever. Parker Schnabel, stretching his team to the limit. Parker Schnabel introduced his new chocolate Labrador, Bosco, a birthday present from his parents. While the pup was a welcome addition and perhaps a good luck charm, Schnabel remained laser-focused on his ambitious 10,000-ounce goal. However, his mining season started slow, forcing him to wrap up operations at Dominion Creek. His team worked around the clock, running pay dirt from both the bridge cut and the long cut. The increased production came with challenges, including keeping the wash plants running efficiently and ensuring that every ounce of gold counted. One of the biggest tasks this week was relocating wash plant Roxanne to a more efficient site, which would allow it to sluice directly into an existing pond. The move was completed successfully despite an initial hiccup with a loose intake hose sucking in air, which caused some delays. The pressure on his crew was immense, as each miner was being pushed to their limits to ensure they were getting the most gold possible before the season ended. Meanwhile, rookie Taven Peterson was promoted from running rock trucks to feeding Roxanne, an important step up in responsibility. However, he ran into a significant challenge when the hopper jammed. After attempting to clear the blockage himself, he wisely called foreman Mitch Blaschke, who discovered that a large rock had caused the issue. Blaschke appreciated being called in before things escalated, and together they got operations back on track. It was a key learning experience for Peterson, showing him how even a minor issue could cause major downtime if not handled quickly. During the gold weigh-in, the results were promising but emphasized the need for continued high production. Roxanne's run produced 222.5 ounces worth $556,000, Big Red brought in 82.8 ounces worth $207,000, and Ken and Stewart's Big Bob operation yielded a massive 346.8 ounces worth $867,000. While these totals provided a boost, Schnabel was still facing an uphill battle to reach his target, and time was running out. Rick Ness, running out of options. Rick Ness found himself at a critical juncture as his crew cut operation underperformed. With nearly 1,000 ounces mined so far, he needed to find richer ground to secure his future at Duncan Creek. His crew was working hard, but Ness knew that without better pay dirt, all their efforts could be in vain. Turning to the edge cut, an area covered in permafrost, Ness was hoping this new ground would be the answer to his problems. He took a cautious approach, conducting a 5-hour sample run before committing to full-scale operations. The results showed some gold, but it wasn't enough to convince him. Despite his doubts, he pushed ahead, instructing his team to strip overburden as quickly as possible. However, the lack of gravel layers was a concerning sign, and after a second test, Ness received disappointing news: just 2.55 ounces worth $6,500. This was far below what he needed to justify continuing at edge cut. The situation left Ness at a crossroads: keep searching or accept an early end to his season. In an effort to lighten the mood, Ness showed off his collection of uniquely shaped rocks, including his Wu-Tang rock and stone sandals. However, the reality was setting in: he had to find better gold fast, or his season would be over sooner than expected. The pressure weighed heavily on Ness, as he reflected on everything he had put into this season. His team had worked tirelessly, and an early end to operations would mean financial strain for everyone. But with little choice left, he had to keep pushing forward, hoping his instincts would lead him to a breakthrough before it was too late. Tony Beets, a risky search for new ground. Tony Beets continued to lead the pack with 2,914 ounces mined so far, worth over $7 million. His son Mike kept things moving at Paradise Hill, while nephew Mike had sluice-a-lot running at Indian River. However, with his nephew moving through pay dirt rapidly, Tony risked running out of viable ground sooner than anticipated. Knowing he needed a new pay streak, Tony tested the corner cut, an area that had shown some promise. Using a $2 pan, he carefully examined samples and was encouraged by what he saw. Wasting no time, he directed his crew to strip the area and build a pad for sluiceolot, setting the stage for a major relocation. Moving a 45-ton wash plant is no small feat, and the process was complicated by frozen ground, which slowed things down considerably. Despite the difficulties, Tony's nephew Mike successfully transported the massive machine to its new home. Now, all that remained was to build up a sufficient pay pile, but this proved to be another hurdle as permafrost slowed excavation efforts. At the weekly gold weigh-in, Tony's numbers remained strong, but they also reinforced the urgency of finding new ground. The comeback cut yielded 75.66 ounces worth $190,000, while the trommel added another 374.34 ounces worth $936,000. With operations at Indian River stalled, all eyes were now on Mike Beets to keep the gold coming at Paradise Hill. This episode showcased the high-stakes decision-making that defines Gold Rush. Parker Schnabel made progress but needed to push even harder. Rick Ness faced a tough reality as his new ground failed to produce, leaving his season in jeopardy. Tony Beets, despite his continued success, needed to secure a new pay streak to sustain his operation. With winter closing in and each miner facing their own challenges, the pressure was higher than ever to strike gold before time ran out. For fans of the show, the King's mistake highlighted just how quickly fortunes can change in the mining world. Every decision carried weight, and the wrong move could spell disaster. As the season progresses, it remains to be seen whether these miners can overcome the obstacles in their way and finish strong. One thing is for sure: Gold Rush continues to deliver intense drama and nail-biting moments, keeping audiences hooked week after week. As Gold Rush Season 15 progresses, Parker Schnabel appears to be gaining momentum after his slow start, with his multi-wash plant strategy starting to pay off. If he can maintain this pace, he has a solid chance of closing in on his ambitious 10,000-ounce goal. However, with his crew stretched to the limit, operational hiccups could still threaten his success. On the other hand, Rick Ness is in a far more precarious situation. His struggles to find rich pay dirt and the disappointing results at the edge cut suggest he's running out of viable options. If he doesn't strike better ground soon, he could be forced to cut his season short, making his comeback year a disappointment. Unless he makes a bold move or gets a lucky break, Ness might be facing an early exit while Parker pushes ahead toward a strong finish.